Dortmund. It's not exactly London, Liverpool or Manchester, but that's exactly where Jadon Sancho is making his name. Now, of course, Dortmund don't look like they're going to let go of the youngster anytime soon, especially given his form. That being said, as they've shown with Mario Götze, Ousmane Dembele and Christian Pulisic probably sometime soon, they're willing to let the right players go for the right price. Like those three, it will take a big sum for Dortmund to agree. The papers are saying around £100 million at the moment, while the CIES Football Observatory have put his price at £80 million. That's a rise of 806% in just 3 months. But let's recap what anyone can expect from the England winger. Right-footed with the ability to play across any of the front three positions, he's probably more at home on the left-hand side. He's excelled as part of a Dortmund team that attack at pace and deservedly lead the Bundesliga. He's not an old-school winger, so don't expect him to be getting to the byline and whipping in crosses. He likes to pass, move and get beyond defenders, which something with his pace is easy for him to do. He tracks back as much as any normal winger, to be honest, so his biggest fault is perhaps his decision-making, when to pass, when not to pass and when to hold on to the ball. That being said, he's still Dortmund's leading assist giver this season. Looking deeper at the stats, you can see what an impact he's made even at this stage of his career alongside some seasoned performers. Bear in mind this is a team featuring attacking talent like Pulisic, Marco Reus and Paco Alcacer, as well as Götze in his second stint at the club. But, according to Who Scored, Sancho leads his club in key passes per league game with 1.8, while he's also ranked first in dribbles per match. In 1,025 minutes in the league, he averages a goal or an assist every 78 minutes, compared to Reus's 92. Only Alcacer, who has 11 goals as a substitute in all competitions this season, beats him in the league. But as we'll talk about later, Sancho seems to possess a maturity beyond his 18 years, which explains why there's 3 clubs perhaps more interested than others, 2 in his homeland and 1 in Spain. First to Manchester, where Sancho has of course already spent a considerable part of his career with Manchester City. For this exercise, however, we're going to focus on United, who have a bit of scratch and the desire to create some good news for their fans. Sancho has probably burnt the bridges between him and City when he left for Dortmund. That being said, of course, you can never say never in football. But of course, it would be a lot more fun if he was to end up in the red shirt of Manchester United next time they play in a derby. Sancho would add more width than we're used to seeing from Manchester United in recent seasons. But combine his pace with Lingard, with Rashford, with Martial, and there will be speed to burn at Old Trafford. But would Sancho see United as a viable option for his future? It seems crazy to think that a player would not jump at the chance to join Manchester United. But as we've seen over the last couple of seasons, it's not necessarily the happiest place in the world. Things might change under a new leadership with Jose Mourinho now gone. And if Sancho was to see his way to Manchester United, it would be a positive step in the right direction for a club in desperate need of some positive vibes. From Manchester, we head to a far sunnier Barcelona, which seems the most logical choice if Sancho was to stay on the European continent. Clearly, Barcelona are willing to overlook the troubles they had after they signed their last player from Dortmund, Ousmane Dembele, back in 2017. Barcelona are reportedly not wary about going back to Dortmund for another player, and in this case, we can't blame them. Sancho has showed far more maturity than Dembele ever did in finding his way in Dortmund's tactical approach, and Sancho also showed with his move from Manchester City to Dortmund for another land, for another language, that he's got a mature head on his shoulders. As well as delivering Barcelona only its second ever Englishman after Gary Lineker, it also deliver a lot of youth to an ageing front third. Barcelona do have the aforementioned and infinitely talented Dembele, but in Suarez and Messi they have 2 players on the wrong side of 30, and La Masia is not the product line it once was. Barca would be impressed with the way that Sancho has combined with Marco Reus in Dortmund's front third. Now, swap Reus for Messi, add Dembele on the other side, that's a front third that speaks for itself. Finally, back to the UK we go, and this time to Liverpool, who, of course, we have to link to every Bundesliga talent, mostly just because of Jurgen Klopp, despite the fact he wasn't even there when Sancho lobbed up at BVB. The Reds have been linked with Christian Pulisic for some time, but given their respective form trends, you can see why maybe they may have switched their sights to Jadon Sancho. Sancho has the hustle and magic that Klopp loves in an attacker. He's a bit of a mishmash between Sadio Mane and Mo Salah. He has the pace and the ability to get behind the defence like the former and the trickery to beat his opponents like the latter. His finishing might not be as devastating as the Egyptian, but that's coming. The biggest question for the Reds is perhaps the price tag. We know they're not short of a buck, but the £100 million they'd need for Sancho would vastly eclipse the 75 they paid for Virgil van Dijk, even though, of course, that's turned out to be very good value. Of course, it's only a matter of time before the Reds scale the £100 million mountain for the first time, and they may as well start with Sancho. So there you have it, 3 potential departures for a fantastic player if he was to leave Dortmund at all. Should he go? Should he stay? Where will he end up? Let us know in the comments below. We'll see you next time.